In the next story, the images are quite explicit that we cannot broadcast it, but let's tell you that the Lagos State government has shut down all branches of Christian schools in various parts of the state over a viral sex video involving its pupils. The pupils were on a trip to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, for a competition where a video emerged showing two of the students engaging in the act in the presence of other students. A statement from the government said the matter was being investigated. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Police Command says it has commenced investigations into the matter and says it is to establish the identities of the players in the video, the true incident, geographical location of the incident, an alleged threat to life against the students of the school, and circumstances surrounding the alleged repeated pregnancy tests concluded or conducted without parental consent. The command says it is equally taking cognizance of the cybercrime crime angle to the whole episode and would not hesitate to enlist the support of the Interpol should the need arise. In the meantime, the Lagos State government is warning that sharing or receiving images depicting child pornography is an offence under its laws that can attract a sentence of up to 14 years. The warning, as the explicit video involving students of Christian school is being shared and viewed by many on social media platforms. On Monday, TVC News spoke to a human rights lawyer and executive director in Invictus Africa, Shonibare, who explained that there was no law to prosecute in this particular incident.
So Nigerian law is silent as it relates to statutory rape generally, and by statutory rape, which is the argument in relation to the Christian schools case, is to say that when a child, when rape occurs between presumably an adult and a child who has not attained the statutory age of consent. So none of the laws we currently have in Nigeria contemplate situation where both the perpetrators and the victims, as is this case, are minors or they are children. If any legal action or criminal action is brought, it will have to be decided based on the general case of.
Buki also explained that sharing of child pornography is a criminal act and can be prosecuted.
When it comes to cases of social media sharing of pornographic or sexual activities, especially as it relates to minor, the Cybercrimes Act is actually quite clear on that. And when we look at sections 23 and 24 of the Cybercrimes Act, it criminalizes the sharing of such kind of videos, especially as it does not serve the interest of both the victims, the children in this case, and then their parents particularly. So it's an act that is criminalized, and those who watch it or share it are actually, committing a crime based on the Cybercrimes Act.
Begin with insecurity matters in the northeast, where suspected Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists have attacked a military formation in Molai, a town 10 kilometers away from Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State, killing 2 security personnel. The TVC News gathered that the terrorists came in large numbers with vehicles and motorcycles armed with sophisticated weapons and invaded the security checkpoint. Sources say that sporadic gunshots rocked the area in the attack. The assault, which started at about 6 p.m., has forced many residents of the community to flee into Maiduguri town. At the moment, operatives of Operation Hidden K have repelled the attack and normalcy has been restored. Meanwhile, troops of the Multinational Joint Task Force have killed 10 Boko Haram and Islamic State of West Africa province commanders, as well as over 100 terrorists during land and air clearance operations. The operation, codenamed Operation Lake Sanity, is a joint and combined operation involving the Multinational Joint Task Force troops from Nigeria, Niger and Cameroon, and troops from Operation Hidden K, as well as the air task forces of the MNJTF and OPHK, all the security agencies and the Civilian Joint Task Force. According to a statement by the spokesman for the MNJTF, Colonel Mohammed Dole, some of the areas cleared by the troops include Zanari, Arena Woje, which served as a major fabrication workshop for the terrorists. But 18 soldiers were wounded, while 3 others and a member of the CJTF paid the supreme price during the operation. He listed some of the commanders killed to include Abubakar Dan Buduma, Abubakar Showa, Abu Ali, and Abu Jibrila, among many others. Governors of the 36 states of the Federation have raised concern over the planned deduction of the Paris Club loan refund by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. The states are asking the federal government not to tamper with funds accruing to them and the 774 local government councils under the guise of satisfying an alleged $418 million London Paris Club loan refund, stating that they were not parties to any contract or suits concerning any refund from which the said judgment debts arose. The states in a document said they were not liable to any person or entity in any judgment debt being relied on by the federal government. Speaking through the body of Attorneys General of the Federation, the states warned further that should the federal government proceed to make any such deduction, it would be acting illegally and in contempt of their appeal challenging the judgment. They also gave their warning in a letter dated April the 4th as part of the response to a November the 11th, 2021 letter from the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, advertising commencement of the deduction for the liquidation of the alleged judgment debts. The reply of the states was signed by the body of Attorneys General of the Federation Interim Chairman, Mr. Moyosoro Onigbanjo of Lagos State, and Interim Secretary, Dr. Abdul Karim Abubakar Kana of Nasarawa State, as well as the Attorneys General of Rivers, Abia, Taraba, Benue, and Zamfara States, for and on behalf of all the state Attorneys General. Now, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says the presidential pardon for persons prosecuted on corruption charges by the federal government only suggests that there is no need to have anti-corruption agencies in the country. He believes the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission have been made to suffer an embarrassment as the pardon has made them irrelevant. The governor stated these on Monday while addressing delegates of the People's Democratic Party in Kano State as part of his ongoing consultation ahead of the party's presidential primary. He was reacting to the pardon granted to former governors Jolly Nyame of Taraba State and Joshua Darie of Plateau State by the Council of State last week. Governor Wike also dismissed the defense put up by the president's spokesman on why the pardon should not be faulted. Now, as the highest decision-making body of the All Progressives Congress and Lagos State Governance Advisory Council has endorsed the state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for a second term in office. Spokesman to Governor Sanwo-Olu, Boyega Akoshile, while confirming the development in a post on his social media, said the decision was taken after a meeting of the council on Monday. This development comes weeks after the GAC had dismissed speculations that it had endorsed another candidate for the 2023 governorship election. The Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland has warned his subjects to desist from smuggling and venture into legitimate trade, noting that smuggling kills the economy and development of a nation. He made this known during the visit of the Comptroller of Customs, Ogun 1 Area Command, to his palace in Ake, Abeokuta. TVC News' Kazimolawe reports.
For Nigeria economy to further develop, citizens must cooperate with the government and do away with things that can affect the progress of the economy. The Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Gbadebo, made this known during the visit of the Comptroller of Customs, Ogun Area 1 Command, to his palace. He vowed not to plead on behalf of any smugglers caught with contraband by the customs.
Since 2019 August, the government has found it expedient to close some of the borders. The Idiroko border happens to be one of them, and all the borders in Ogun State. So we have been doing skeletal services of administration in the office. But be that as it may, I found it very, very important that we should be in the palace today, in the palace of the paramount ruler of Egbaland and the foremost ruler in Ogun State.
Without revenue, no government can survive. And therefore, I've always told them they should never come to me when they have problems with customs. I'm not going to beg to have their goods returned to them. I'm not going to beg to have their vehicles returned to them. I will encourage them to do legitimate business, not to be smuggling, because some people have taken it as part of normal business. It is abnormal.
On his part, the Agura of Bagura, who is also a retired customs officer, said people always say they venture into the illicit trade due to economic hardship, but no matter the situation, venturing into crime is not the solution and can never be the solution. He appealed to people to always do what is right in the interest of the country.
Because no matter what, you can't say because you're hungry, that's why you're going to go smuggling or whatever. If you are caught, you go to jail. You forfeit your gun, you forfeit your vehicle. No matter how bad it is in the country, you don't have to commit crime.
The comptroller promised that his men will continue to perform their duties, urging stakeholders to continue to support them against smuggling in the country. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta.
The rains are here, and the people of Ayetoro community in a larger local government area of Ondo State are not happy because of the rise in sea level, which also aggravates sea incursion in the area. Residents of the ravaged community want a permanent solution to the natural disaster that has rendered many homeless. Ayodeji Maradeo reports on this.
Ocean surge has become a perennial crisis in Ayetoro, a coastal community in the oil-rich Ilaja local government area of Ondo State. Since like these have become a routine in the town, sweeping property, houses, among other things, away in its fury. This sea incursion is threatening existence of this Asian community, which is on the verge of going into extinction. Over 1,000 houses have been submerged by the sea incursion, which always comes like a thief in the night to torment residents. With the rainy season gradually approaching, people of Ayetoro are in for another tough time, as the sea is expected to rise and bring more calamity to the community. People of the community are worried and appealing to the federal and state government to come to their rescue. They said they are tired of government inability to tackle the ravaging ocean surge once and for all.
Over the years, and in our presence and in the presence of these elders that toiled and labored to build this place, and it has destroyed half of the community.
Please, first of all help us by breaking the waves, because we have the most angry sea in the whole of Africa. Our soil nature is muddy, and it's very shallow. Because of the shallowness, it rolls and slams against buildings and destroys them.
They suggested a way out and want government to think in this direction.
If they can bring stones like they did in Escravos and Lagos and elsewhere, if they can bring big stones or rocks that are scattered all over on those states to come and help us arrange it so that it will stop the wave from coming directly to slam against the landscape of Ayetoro.
With the rains around the corner, people of Ayetoro need urgent intervention to save their community from being submerged. Ayodeji Maradeo, TVC News, Ayetoro.
Now, maternal and child mortality in Nigeria is still making voices rise in ceaseless calls for government attention. Medical experts are giving advice to mothers who they say also have a crucial role to play in bringing down the highly disturbing statistics at a time Lagos State government is crafting out strategies for safety. Senior correspondent Jacqueline Ogo reports.
Maternal and child mortality is one of Nigeria's banging headaches that is yet to find any effective cure. But medical experts say mothers have some crucial roles to play to ensure the safety of their children and their own through some crucial fundamental steps.
You need to eat well. Fish. If you like meat, not that I recommend red meat, but meat will be okay, as well as vegetables and fruits. And you also exercise, put yourself in good exercise mind and frame and lose weight. Avoid toxics like alcohol, cigarette, cannabis, cocaine, And you can name them. All these things are going to affect you and your baby. Your baby is you. You are your baby, because what you pass on to the baby is what the baby becomes.
Lagos State government is making attempts to press forward on maternal and child safety through its Womb to School initiative. The government is giving nutritional packs and supplements to pregnant women and nursing mothers through its Mother, Infant and Child Development Program being powered by the Office of Civic Engagement. It says the measure is to aid proper mental development of children, especially to ensure they grow into people who will add value to the state's development, not violence.
This program started as a thought process, and it was taken to me, and Mr. David Governor. And Mr. Governor said, okay, let's do it. When it comes to women, you know, 100% with women. When it comes to children, the future of our state, the future of our country, you know, and the futuristic government.
Under the program, mothers are also taught about child spacing and the advantages.
If a woman is having children back to back, then it does not enable her body to recover. The next baby that comes in does not have the opportunity to derive as much as the last child that came.
Every year, 814 women out of every 100,000 women die annually in Nigeria while giving birth. But in nations like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, only 2 die annually. The figures clearly show how intensively governments at all levels in Nigeria need to work to reverse the ugly trend. Jacqueline Ogo, TVC News, Lagos.
A medical doctor, Dauda Lawale, is urging Nigerians to prioritize their health through routine medical checkups to prevent diseases and know their status. He was speaking at a medical outreach organized by a non-governmental organization in collaboration with the Osun State government for residents of a community in Odwot, local government area of the state. Rafiu Hamid reports.
Health, they say, is wealth. It is, however, obvious that government alone cannot meet the needs and the demand of its publics in the sector. This is why non-governmental and corporate organizations, including well-meaning individuals, are supporting government to provide health support, particularly for the rural dwellers. At this medical outreach organized in collaboration with the Osun State government in Ijabe, beneficiaries had the opportunity to know their health status and were provided with treatments and referrals made where necessary. The State Commissioner for Information and Civic Orientation, Funke Gbemade, says large turnout of people, particularly the aged, shows the importance of the outreach.
We could easily have done this in Lagos. We could easily have done this foundation in Osogbo. We could easily have done it anywhere. But this is also partnering with the state government to ensure that medical facilities, medical opportunities are available to people at the grassroots. So
cultivate the habit of regular medical check, whether or not they are in good health or not. So when we do all these things, we'll be able to prevent illness, okay? And even if we are going to be picked to have any one kind of illness or not, it will be picked very early. That's very easy for us to actually address.
Medicines and free eyeglasses were presented to the beneficiaries, which they believe will promote healthy living.
This program, our people have been yearning seriously for this kind of a program. But thank God she brought it at a time we really need it. She has been so wonderful. The outreach has been so good. People really need it, especially the issue of the eyeglasses.
What we are witnessing today is a good gesture among political appointees, and we want people to emulate. Because if you think good of your aged, then the future is brighter.
Over 500 people benefited from the medical outreach. Certificates of participation were also presented to the beneficiaries of the vocational and entrepreneurial training organized by the Commissioner for Information a few days ago, where they were trained in tie and dye making, makeup and cake making as a means of creating employment opportunities for the teeming youths. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Ijabe, Osun State.
And repeated gas flares to the environment and and unabated oil spills have continuously been the talking points for oil companies and their host communities, sometimes ending in needless litigations. A non-governmental organization is now leading the charge for proper dialogue in the polluted environment by sensitizing the host communities in Delta as well as Bayelsa. Joseph Kunde has details.
Available data from the Nigerian Department of Petroleum Resources show that nearly 4.5 million barrels of crude oil were spilled between 1976 and 2021. Most damning of all, 77% of this oil has not been recovered and contaminates the local environment. These spills, coupled with years of gas flaring, has exposed communities in the Niger Delta to decades of unabated pollution, giving rise to health challenges and loss of livelihood among the local populace, who are mostly fishermen and farmers. This may be the reason the Health of Mother Earth Foundation, HOMEF, is seeking to educate individuals from host communities in Bayelsa and Delta states on oil and gas exploitation activities and the need for communities to speak up against the polluting activities in their areas. The perceived unabated activities of some operators and their effect on the livelihoods also took the front burner. HOMEF believes monitoring and reporting illegal activities remain the only way to checkmate exploitation, hence the need for continuous dialogue and training of communities on the issue.
The majority of damages that occur in the Niger Delta region are as a result of equipment failure, not acts of sabotage. So if this article in the PIA is kept and is followed up to the latter, we will definitely see a situation where consistently communities will be denied benefits on account of disruption of oil operations.
Communities should be able to stand on their own and without rushing issues, understand the issues very well before they leave the ground. Say they are going to the court seeking environmental justice.
Training, they are giving the basic tools and the basic direction and guides on how best they can monitor, have the evidence and factual-based information to actually help them keep to what they are experiencing and push it to the public.
Crops we used to grow then, they don't produce as much anymore. We have been given the platform to advocate, to speak against this deplorable situation of our environment, so that we can take our case forward and get our environment restored.